Meeting's called to order at 6:01. May I have, we have a roll call, please, Natalie?
Chairperson Phil Goldstein.
Here.
Vice Chairperson Marty Jost. Commissioner Lisa Bard.
Here.
Commissioner Eric Westland.
Here.
Commissioner Christina Bickley. Alternate Robert Axmacher.
Present.
Alternate Tom Wood.
Here. Thank you. Commissioners, any amendments to the agenda? Staff, nothing, no amendments. Termination of alternate voting, both alternates will vote tonight in the absence of Marty and Christie. General public comment. Do we have anybody signed up, Natalie, for general public comment, which is an opportunity to speak on anything not on the agenda? Nobody. We'll close the general public comment. Consent agenda consists only of the approval of the October 19th, 2021 meeting minutes. Commissioners, any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, do I have a motion on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
That was a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Consent agenda is approved. Business items, item 6A, rendezvous third filing minor subdivision. Kevin. Very good, thanks.
As I get going here with the technical items here. All right, thank you, Chairperson. So as you'd mentioned, this is the rendezvous third filing minor subdivision. This property is actually owned by the town of Timnath, and the applicant is the town of Timnath in this case as well. This minor subdivision application is for 2 commercial lots within the 13.5 acres of what was Lot 1, Block 1 of the rendezvous first filing. This property is zoned CC Community Commercial, located just south of Harmony Road, north of Timnath Trail Road, and just to the northeast of where we are sitting right now, next to the plaza at Riverbend. Lot 1, with this proposal, Lot 1 is proposed for the use of a future police station, which will come at the next next agenda item, which will be on roughly 3.2 acres, and then the remaining Lot 2 will consist of the remaining 10.3 acres, which will be slated for future development. Nothing has been intended at this time. This minor subdivision falls within the Harmony Corridor and has been reviewed against the Harmony Corridor design standards for the minor subdivision. And there was an attached development structure plan in your packet, which has been reviewed and approved by the design review committee. Staff has reviewed this application against the land use code and the Harmony Corridor standards, and have found that it meets all technical items within the land use code. So the next item, which is then within that Lot 1 of that subdivision, is the Timnath Police Station. This site proposal is for a 22,000 square foot police station on the 3.2 acres. And with the potential for future expansion in future years. The use of a police station is a permitted use within the zoning. The requirement for a 22,000 square foot police station is roughly 66 spaces, including 2 ADA spaces and one electronic vehicle charging station. This proposal is providing 52 spaces, with 9 of those coming at a future build out for a total of 59 spaces. Is that correct, Brian? Or 61, sorry. This proposal also includes 53% of the site is landscaping, meeting that minimum 25% requirement. This site plan was reviewed against 5.10 of the land use code for compliance with the Harmony corridor standards. This site plan meets the standards except for a couple of exceptions that the town is needing to be waived by the town council for certain requirements within that. And I will actually add one more that we was not actually in this packet that we will have to add onto that as well. So generally the waivers that are being requested to go to town council are for parking lot landscaping. The intent behind the Harmony Corridor standards really can't be met with a police station. Just because of having additional plantings, shrubs, things like that provide a security risk for people potentially hiding, things like that within a police station lot. So the request for those to be waived, or that requirement to be waived, is being requested at this time. Some of the other requests that are being asked for are the placement and orientation. So one of the requirements is the placement and orientation of the building, basically having activation spaces fronting Harmony Road. That criteria can't be met with this building because the portion of the building on the north side that fronts Harmony Road is the actual location of the officers' common area. So having activation spaces within that actually is a security risk for those officers. So that is why that criteria can't be met. The other criteria that I'm actually going to add in is also on 51075A. The requirement is that the building be set up to the 50-foot setback line. This building actually sits about 94 feet back and not up against that 50-foot setback. And that's due to the north access road. That was shifted down to provide better access to the site for vehicles coming in. That is going to be an access for the officers to get back to a secured area. So having that access was critical, which was why this building couldn't be placed up against the 50-foot setback line. The other criteria being asked to be waived is the roof slope of being afforded 12. This building, and if you have specific questions on it, I think Brian or Sean Moscrip could go into that. Is trying to utilize a lot of natural lighting to reduce on heating costs and lighting costs. So some of the roof design is done in a specific way to allow daylight into the lobby and some other areas. So that request is being made. And then the building transparency, obviously with a high security building such as a police station, there's a lot of things within there that need to be contained within the building and not viewed from public. So having building transparency with a lot of windows is a security risk for those officers, such as, having evidence storage, holding and processing, can't have those windows due to that safety. So that waiver is being requested as well. So with that.
Can I add in on the waivers?
Yep.
So the Planning Commission knows the waivers are specific to the Harmony Corridor standards. The Harmony Corridor standards were written in a way that waivers are permissible of certain standards by the town council. It doesn't apply broadly to the entire code. It's just to those Harmony Corridor standards. And that's why Kevin's going through and speaking to each one of those specific waiver requests, and the council will be the one that takes the final action on those as a separate item.
Thank you, Matt. So staff has reviewed this site plan against general land use code and Harmony Corridor standards. And other than those waivers that I had mentioned, staff found it to be in compliance with the land use code. And with that, Brian, do you want to add anything onto that?
I'm happy to answer any questions you have about the project in general, specifically about the waivers. We did have some discussions with the DRC, the Design Review Committee for the Harmony Corridor, and they were generally agreeable with the waivers. We wanted to, obviously they couldn't provide the waiver. We have to go through the process with the town council to get those waivers, but they understood the reasoning behind each one and didn't have any specific objections to them. Other than that, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Let's first open, item 6A is the only one of the two we would open for public comment. Anybody signed up for public comment on, nobody on now? Okay, we'll close public comment then and bring it up here. Commissioners, questions directed either to Brian, essentially acting as the applicant then, or Kevin, as in his normal capacity as staff.
Brian and Kevin, I'm curious about this expansion you guys mentioned. Where might that go?
So
So
they
they talk about that.
There's two planned building expansions. The first one is of the administrative offices, so that's going to be on the northeast corner. Actually, Kevin's got it up here. So these are the administrative offices. Right? First building expansion will bring this part of the building up to that. That's additional, just administrative offices. There's a new chief's office, which would be right on the corner because the chief kind of gets that predominant spot. His office will then be subdivided into two, and then there's two other offices in that expansion as well. The second building expansion happens right here. There is a detective suite and a war room. We don't have the staffing requirements for offices in the administrative area for the two detectives. What we kind of see is staffing forecast. There's a detective suite and a war room happening here, and then there's an expansion of the evidence storage area there as well. That will be an evidence storage bay, and then some deep storage for evidence as well.
Assuming those expansions happen at some point in the near future, curious about how you address landscaping, like on that northeast corner specifically. If we knock all that out, what's the, and there's probably not a plan drawn yet, so I'm asking a question you probably don't have an answer for.
Well, there actually is a plan for that, because we did draw, when we went through the design process, when we did schematic design level, we did the entire building, and then we kind of pared it back for as we were moving forward. There is a planned parking lot that would come behind on the south side of the building, adding additional parking as we add that additional space in the building. So there will be a courtyard outside of the detective suite. That is kind of runs about in the line where you see that curve there. And then the parking lot would be just to the south of that. So we would try to transplant as many of those existing plants that would be disturbed onto the south side of that parking lot. There's also the potential for a outdoor storage building that would flank the east side of that kind of box square there. That would be for if they have a traffic trailer or ATVs or bikes or anything like that, that kind of can handle that outdoor storage. There also would be some transient storage out there as well. So as they collect items that they don't necessarily want to store in the building, there would be a secured space for that storage as well.
Anything else? Who's, other questions? Tom, nothing?
Nope,
Lisa?
looks good.
Robert? Nothing? Very good. So we'll take item, and I have no questions either. Thank you. We'll take item 6A first. Do I have a motion on item 6A, the Rendezvous Third Filing Minor Subdivision?
Motion to approve.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6B, Timnath Police Station Site Plan.
Chairperson, since there was one additional condition that wasn't in the packet, or one additional waiver, with your recommendation, make sure to add that as a condition of approval as well, or condition of adding in that additional waiver request.
And this is on B.
Yes, on the
B, so
site
I don't have to
plan.
go- I don't have
Yep.
to go back. Okay.
Yep. So it's adding in section 5.10.7.5B or A is what would be
5.10 point,
7.5A.
okay.
Adding in that to be waived.
Okay,
as
so
well.
because I know Lori's watching and wants me to get these motions made correctly. I've taken my lesson from council meetings. Okay, so with that, I need a motion on item 6B, Timnath Police Station Site Plan, including the waiver on section 5.10.7.5A.
Motion for approval.
Very good. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor? We have a second from Lisa. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 6C, Ladera Minor Subdivision. Kevin.
Thank you, Chairperson. As we get things back up on a technical nature. Are you all good? Okay. So thank you, Chairperson. So just as you had approved a couple weeks ago for the Connell annexation, this now brings in the subdivision for the property known as Ladera. So this is a minor subdivision application. The owner is Connell LLC, represented tonight by Sherry Welch. Applicant is Galloway, represented tonight by Jenny Romano. The property, as you might remember, is just south of Sweatsville Zoo Road in the Costco with an extension out to County Road 5. At that annexation, the property was zoned regional commercial. So this minor subdivision application is for 4 commercial lots and 1 tract, which will be the future extension of Weitzel Road on roughly 62 acres. Lot 1 will be roughly 7.8 acres, and then lot 1 of block 2 will be roughly 2.8 acres. Tract B, which is on the south, is on the west side, kind of southwest of lot 1, would be roughly 13.4 acres. And then tract C will consist of 28.4 acres. That's on the east side of the extension of Weitzel. Tract A will consist of roughly 10.3 acres, and that would be the future extension of Weitzel Road. Lot 1 has a proposed use of future warehouse retail users, and the other lots are slated for future commercial or office development. This property is zoned regional commercial, and each lot adheres to the appropriate development standards in the land use code, along with their approved PD overlay. Staff has reviewed this application in conformance with both the PD overlay and the land use code and found it to be in compliance. With that, I will turn it over to Grant for a quick presentation.
Is that better? Good evening, members of Planning Commission. My name is Grant Nelson. I'm here on behalf of Ladera Development, here tonight with Sherry Welsh, Tony Connell, and Jenny Romano with Galloway. We're here to present our minor subdivision. As I was here a couple weeks ago, didn't have a lot of information, so tonight we have a much more robust package that we can cover with you, if that is all right. As Kevin indicated, the property is southeast quadrant of Harmony and I-25. The family has owned it since 2000, and the first annexation went through last week. So we're excited to bring the first phase on board. Won't bore you with the name and why we named it that, but we do have a name and a fancy logo. So as Kevin indicated, it's the north part of the development that we are doing a subdivision on tonight. It's a minor subdivision, and we will be back soon to do a major subdivision. This was basically, the minor sub was basically so we can get our first anchor on board and developed here in the near term. As Kevin already covered, there's 6 lots, and pretty much the lots that we're developing up on the northwest side of the site is Floor and Decor, and with any luck, we'll be here back on November 16th with Floor and Decor to hopefully present their site plan, if Kevin allows it. So, as we have talked about previously, this project produces a lot of opportunity for not only us, but for the town. As we indicated last time, and as we discussed a little bit, we are going to be extending Weitzel Road from Sweatsville Zoo down to County Road 5. We'll be installing a roundabout at the intersection of Sweatsville and Weitzel. The red dots around the outside is the relocation of the Box Elder ditch, which is not maybe completely relevant to the Planning Commission, but it's a big undertaking and a major accomplishment if we can get it done here in the next year. to get it out of the way, frees up the development, frees up the site, and it will be a major accomplishment. So that is the site now, so we can actually show what we annexed and what we're subdividing tonight. This is the master plan for the total property. So we're anticipating about 130 acres of usable land, depending on what we're able to truly develop. We've got about 100 acres of open space between the northeast side and the southwest side of the property. The detention facility that you see up in the northeast part of the site, the kind of diamond-shaped detention facility, will be installed with this first round of development. It will be about 9 acres. Is that about right, Jenny? As you go further south, the retail is about 55 acres of retail. The east side of the project we anticipate to be office. Up in the north side, mixed residential further south. We anticipate both multifamily and hopefully single family attached. And part of the project we're really excited about is everything along the lake. So Lake Ladera is down on the southwest side. I've named it that, and no one's argued with me yet, so we'll just keep calling it that. And on that, along the lake, we hope to have hospitality. We hope to have office, hopefully some for sale residential. One of the current users we're working with is down in the far southeast side of the site is Lifetime Fitness. We're negotiating a purchase agreement with them right now. They are very excited to be here, and we'll open a 108,000 square foot facility. So lots of different opportunities, and I wasn't able to share it before, so I wanted to be able to bring it in front of you so that you could see what the whole vision was, not just the first phase and just basically the PD language on the first phase is all we shared before. So the total uses are probably 6, maybe 7 different product types will go out on the site. We think it will add a lot of diversity to the town, not only in retail, but in office. Residential will have some really unique places that people can come and shop and own and explore. We'll have a lot of open space for the community to enjoy. And we think that the transportation improvements, especially in this first phase, will really help the town and alleviate some of the congestion. I tried to come up County Road 5 tonight to get here and turned around and went back to I-25 and back to Harmony because it backed up past the kids' sports, or youth sports. So those are the different uses we've talked about, and I'm here to answer any questions you have, not only on the minor subdivision for tonight, but anything you have on the project that I can be helpful. So that is the presentation as I have planned it.
Very good. Thanks, Grant. Anybody signed up? I don't believe so for public comment on this item. So we will open and close public comment on item 6C. Commissioners, questions for Grant or staff? Robert.
Right now we have all kinds of traffic problems, mainly due to the Ketchel Bridge not being there. And I realize that's a short-term situation, but as phase 1 develops, what's the timeline for getting Whitesville connected into County Road 5 there? Is that something that occurs in phase 1 or does that happen later?
Yep, it is. It will start here, as soon as we are fully approved, and our hope is to have it open a year from right now. So that's Floor and Decor would like to open next fall, and we need to have it opened to get them open. So luckily we have a really good contractor on board. So they have been able to build a lot of roads in this community and in northern Colorado for years, and we believe they'll get this done as well.
Yeah, the extension of Whitesville is contingent. It has to happen.
Okay.
So in phase 1.
And we're making improvements on County Road 5 and the intersection at Tector.
And then we're doing a roundabout at Sweatsville when it intersects with County Road 5. That'll be a stop sign to begin with, a T stop sign. Is that right?
Whitesville and County Road 5 is just a stop signal or stop sign is my understanding.
Yes, that's correct. It'll have accel decel lanes. It'll have a left turn pocket for northbound and a right turn decel lane for southbound. And the roundabout is obviously Westville and Weitzel.
Was there, maybe Don, this is a better question for you. Was there any discussion about also doing a roundabout there, or is there a reason that we're doing a stop sign?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of floodplain issues and others associated with that area. And I think since it's the development on the east side is I was just going to say problematic. The use of a roundabout at that location was discarded, I think, fairly early in the process by the developer, and we concurred with it.
Okay, appreciate that.
Tom?
Yeah, can you elaborate on the residential part of it? In this phase, how many residences and what's your overall schedule? When do you see that built out?
So in the first phase, we have some land that we could develop as residential. It's kind of up in the,
Right in the corner there.
yeah, up in the corner. More than likely, we will have to do an additional annexation to do any residential. Kind of the way that lays out isn't really conducive to having anyone go build today. So, you know, we kind of had to square it off to make the detention facility work. And so the yellow up there whereas the residential will probably not come until the next phase is developed.
That's fine. Thank you.
Sure.
Lisa?
A couple of things. So when going back to the intersection that he talked about, then anybody who's going left is just going to have to deal with County Road 5 traffic, right? And timing there. Because the only other exit is to go up north and out onto Harmony.
Yep.
So there's going to be some challenges, depending on how busy County Road 5 gets.
Just a point of reference there. The traffic study has demonstrated that a signalized intersection at Kechter and County Road 5 is going to be needed very quickly. So we anticipate that in the not too distant future, and that will give gaps for the Weitzel intersection with 5.
Yeah. Okay. And then back to the residential stuff, and this I know isn't necessarily completely relevant to today, but when do you see, as far as timing, when do you see the residential portion of it possibly happening?
You know, we're having conversations internally about it, all the time. I think we've been working hard to get this first phase over the finish line and get floor and decor delivered. And I think we'll be back in real soon, working with staff to understand how we can best bring phase 2 forward and what type of residential and how it will look and feel. And we'll be having lots of conversations about that. I'm hoping here in December and January and soon. We have a lot of interest from people who want to come here. And we frankly have been so focused on just getting phase 1 done and done right that we have not spent a lot of time on the residential side of this.
This may be very naive of me, and I don't mean it, but if on the residential side, I mean, what is the appeal of living so close to some of these large, big box, the larger areas? I mean, people really want to live there?
It's kind of counterintuitive. I think I bought my first home in 1993, and the idea of living near a big box and near the, Harmony and I-25 doesn't sound appealing to me. But, if you look around northern Colorado and around Denver, I mean, they build it right on top of highways and right on top of shopping centers. And, there's a large entertainment user looking here, and the multifamily developers who are interested are really excited about it. So, people who live in the apartments really like having amenities and convenience near them. So I'm kind of like you. It doesn't appeal to me, but I'm not the person who rents the apartment. My college kids probably would think it's great. So. Yeah, they've leased up really quickly down there. So.
And I guess the bigger picture, the reason I was asking is that's current trends. And, if this development took 10, 15 years, some of them have taken that long to do, trends may change. will your vision change? But if it's going to move along and follow along current trends, then great.
Yeah, the Lifetime Fitness is a really, interesting piece to this. It will kind of anchor that south side of this project, and the multifamily developers that I've spoken with are so excited about that because their residents could, literally walk. Hopefully they'd walk to Lifetime Fitness from here.
Drive 2 blocks to go to the
Yeah,
fitness
they
center.
could probably walk to 2 blocks. Maybe they have to take their moped or something, but that's a really big, people like to be able to work and live, work, play is the thing we keep hearing in the planning world.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Grant, their Lifetime, is that lot 3? Is that potentially where that would be?
That's what we do.
Or is
They
that down,
are, yeah.
down farther south?
Down farther south.
Oh, it is, okay. And floor and decor is lot 1?
Yes.
That,
Yep.
that one's the only one that's locked in?
Yeah.
Okay. Eric, you have, anything else? Tom, anything else? Robert, Lisa?
Yes.
Okay. With that,
Thank you.
thanks, Grant. Commissioners, do I have a motion on item 6C, Ladera minor subdivision?
So moved.
And to approve?
To approval.
To approve. And do I have a second?
I can second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next step. Very good. Commissioners' reports. Anything, anybody? How's the, what's it?
The training class is going wonderfully.
All right,
We have our next class at the police station.
very good.
Tom is a star, by the way.
Got inside information, does he? I understand. Commissioners, nothing. Staff? Anything? Okay. Dawn, anything? I think, okay. Very good. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
A second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.